And we're building up to the 3FM All White Party. If you're yet to get a table, you should be getting one now. Platinum, diamond, and gold. Labadi Beach Hotel on the 28th of December. That's where you ought to be. And one of our headline acts, Jackie, she calls this one Sankofa. Still in studio with Helena Piampofo. And like I mentioned, we've been joined in studio by DO2 Desmond Aka, who is the head of public relations at the Ghana National Fire Service. Good morning.
Good morning.
You call you commander or say or
just call me DO2.
DO2 is fine.
Yes, please.
So, right, DO2 is good. It's good to have you join us this morning as well. We've been talking safety. First off, how is the Ghana National Fire Service? There's a retooling promise that's coming. I'm sure that's exciting. The entire contingent in terms of the fire service as announced in this year's budget.
Yes, that is a good piece of news. But first of all, let me extend some warm greetings to your cherished listeners and those watching us on social media. We have been doing pretty well. If you look at our response time, it has greatly improved, even though we are not everywhere as far as this country is concerned. But our stations are strategically located to be able to respond within reasonable time to help salvage properties as well as save lives. Just this dawn, a piece of some unfortunate news coming in from Abuakwa, Malaysia. Yes, where we had to lose about 6 lives. It's quite unfortunate. Our condolences to the family. Investigations are already underway, and we want to promise the general public that we'll get to the bottom of this and then feed them with the right information. It's quite unfortunate that we had to lose. But this also calls to question the need for more fire stations to be built, especially closer to our communities. If you look at the fire station that responded, it's at Nkawie.
This is Abuakwa
yes,
fire.
Abuakwa fire. It's at Nkawie. And from Nkawie to Abuakwa, it's about 30 minutes drive. But because it's an emergency vehicle, they use 22 minutes to get to the scene. And by which time the fire had already ravaged about 7 bedrooms, which housed these individuals who were burnt to ashes. It's quite unfortunate. And we want to, on behalf of the chief officer and the entire personnel of the service, we want to extend our condolences to the family, and we want to wish them well. So when you look at the figures so far, even though the numbers are quite high, we've done quite well. As at November 2025, the same period against last year, you would realize that the fires that we have recorded has reduced by 12%. No, 12 in terms of nominal figures. In percentage-wise, it's about 0.21, which tells us that at least our intensified efforts are paying results, such that about over 30% of these fires were extinguished by some members of the public even before our arrival. So it gives us the how do you call it, the encouragement that if we are able to do more with added resources, as you are already aware, we've been promised about 100 fire engines, and I believe that when they come in, they will be for our responses in terms of helping out people deal with fires and related and other life-threatening emergencies. And then also, if you look at prank calls, it has also reduced from previously in some, let's say about 3-4 years ago, we were recording about 1.2 annually.
1.2 million.
Yes, prank calls annually. So now it has reduced from 1.2. Last year we're doing roughly around 600,000, and then as at September we had done a little over 50,000. Even though the numbers are huge, if you compare
600,000 to 50,000,
yes,
that's quite.
So if you compare the reduction rate, it's about 38 point, let's say 38.5 or thereabout percentage, which is quite impressive. So we would want to urge the general public to support us, because we believe that most of these fires and accidents that we have been recording are preventable. Most of them are humanly induced, has some human-induced factors in there. And so if we prioritize our safety, when we don't kind of lock ourselves in hardcore burglar proofing, we tend to value our security more than our safety. And therefore, we would want to be able to secure ourselves rather than putting in adequate measures to rather safeguard our lives. That is how come most often than not, when these fires happen, especially those ones that happen in the wee hours of the night, and people are smoke bathed, it becomes very difficult for them to escape so easily because of these security doors and hardcore burglar proofing. We have always maintained and have been advising that before you even build, as per law, LI 1724 and it amended 2249, as well as other laws with respect to the building regulation, you are supposed to submit your drawings to the Ghana National Fire Service for technical advice.
Really?
Yes.
How many people know this and comply to this?
Yes, we've done a lot of education on this, and even now the various assemblies are helping us. So as you go there for your building permit, they also direct you to the Ghana National Fire Service, where we take you through the process, and then we help you. If it is your private residential, you get fire certificate or fire permit. If it's also a commercial building, we also take you through that process.
Then it's not because I've been trying to get a permit for my mom on some property she's putting up. The people didn't refer us to the fire service.
It's quite unfortunate.
Yeah,
so probably we have to prompt them to be able to do that, because
that's why I express surprise, because personally I've been making phone calls so that they'll come check the place and then they'll give her a permit for whatever she wants to do.
It's good that you're giving me the heads up. If maybe
on
after
here on the back we'll have a conversation.
Yes, so that
a conversation about
we'll get
that.
them on
because
board.
Then it becomes very important. People, for starters, people don't even like to go for the permits. That's a conversation for a different platform, which you don't respond to. But for persons who go, if they must be referred to the fire service as well to receive permits so that they can build more safely, in the eventuality of a fire, they don't get caught up. I think it's also very, very important. So it's important that you mention it as well. Perhaps I'll just ask about these investigations, right? I've heard so many times the fire service after a fire, they say investigations are ongoing to unravel the cause of the fire. Do we ever, because I've never heard the conclusion of the investigations before, do we conclude these investigations? Where can we find them? Does it inform policy making? What does it do? Because every time, you've even told us from this unfortunate incident this dawn, investigations are happening. Where does it go to after all of that?
Well, so let me start off by saying that every fire has its own owner. So our reports are normally issued to it, the rightful owner.
The person whose property may have been destroyed or something.
Yes. So what we do is that after investigating the fire and have to submit our report to the respective owner, we go out there on our public safety campaigns with the courses just to educate the public as to how best they have to put their house or their property in order to avert a similar situation happening. So it is based on the investigation that we do that helps us to know the causes of these fires in this country. I can tell you for a fact that if you look at the statistics that we generate each year, domestic fires account for almost 40% of the fires that we record. And we have always been asking ourselves, what is really happening? Is it because people are so careless? Is it because they have not been prepped up despite our numerous safety campaigns? Is it because they think that they are immune to fire situation and therefore they will not put in place adequate safety measures? So electrical faults are very broad. I can talk about arc faults. That is where maybe there's a loose contact or there is a slight break in the conductor, and therefore electrical current are not able to travel in a seamless way, and they would have to jump because of the gap in between the conductor, and that is where arc fault starts. So in our homes where we have conduit wiring, you would realize that we don't advise that you put nails anywhere anyhow, because as you put nails through the walls, it has the propensity of
current and
cut through the conductor and then create an arc situation. And that fire takes a long time to start, and when it starts, it's deadly. It becomes very difficult to contain. And then we have short circuits. We also have people overloading their electrical appliances. People also tend to use inferior cables for their wiring, overage wires, especially in a domestic setting. Wires that have spent over 25 years, according to law, must be replaced with new ones. So is it that we are not contracting qualified, competent, professional electricians or electrical contractors to do our wiring installation for us?
All of that.
Go to people's homes. You would realize that there are heavy objects on their gas cylinder regulators. They think that they are stopping the leakage, but they don't know that they are rather causing more harm than good. People go to the filling station and then they force the attendant to fill the cylinders to the brim. I mean, that is not right. When you fill a cylinder to its fullest capacity and the cylinder is subjected to some form of heat, the gas molecules are such that when they are heated, they have to expand. And in expanding, they would have to do so in a free manner. But once you have filled them to the capacity, they will not be able to.
Feeling AMI saying in itself is wrong.
Yes. I mean, there is a carrying capacity of every cylinder.
Interesting.
I mean, that you have to fill. You don't have to fill.
I've visited the gas station. Everybody says, AMI saying. So there is a standard price they'll give you, and then they'll say AMI saying, and everybody says Manyama.
And that is dangerous. So I think that we would have to step up our enforcement at the gas stations so that the number of gas leakages that has led to fire outbreaks would also be kept. I mean, people cook a lot, and when they are cooking,
this festive season we're going to be cooking lots of meals.
They are distracted either with phone calls or their babies crying. They would have to dash out and do one thing or the other, and they tend to forget. People get tired, and in so doing they want to go and cook. People are also forgetful that they would want to put their leftover meal on fire. Let me heat it and dash to church. By the time he or she realizes he has forgotten, and he will be at church and they will call him or her that, hey, your house is on fire. So if we are vigilant, when we are careful with some of these things, I mean, the fires would go down.
I have to let you go because I'm getting the indication you have to be on TV as well. Just quickly, word of caution, just briefly, for all of our listeners. We've talked about the gas which should not be full. What other things should we be on the lookout for this festive season so that to the best of our abilities we can prevent the fires?
Well, so the festive season will bring a lot of families together. We would have to meet, celebrate, and make merry and all that. But in doing so, how are we taking care of our decoration? It means that we do not have to place our decorations, the Christmas tree and all the flicker lights, closer to heat sources. If we have to cook, we need to be very attentive, especially at the kitchen. If we have to place our cylinders outside the kitchen, we would have to do so in such a way that where we are placing the cylinder, it has to become very difficult for people to come and tamper with it. And then also it should be in a well-ventilated area to prevent...
Those of us who put it outside in a cage is best that way, right?
So you ensure that nobody can tamper with it. And then also, we should also understand that fire safety is a shared responsibility. Fire service cannot do it alone. We need to be able to get the support of the public. And we beg the public, when there is any fire, flooding situation, road traffic accident or crashes, and maybe some form of entrapment, they need to call us on time. we have already said that we are not everywhere.
Right.
And therefore, if we have to respond from a farther distance, it means that it's going to take some time. So we beg them, they should call us on our emergency number, 112. Stop pranking us. We are now introducing a technology that would help us to track pranksters so that we'll know your exact location, arrest you, and make you face the law. So please, once you stop pranking us, once you are vigilant, and you ensure that you use electricity, you use your gas cooking apparatus safely, by and large, we'll be able to preserve or prevent these preventable fires. And then we'll have a peaceful period to have merry during this festive season.
DO2, I appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much for joining us in studio as well this
Grateful
morning.
for having me.
That's DO2 Desmond Aka.